Chapter 2. Threads of Light. It happened by accident. Elara was working in the back room of a modest home in the long shadow, her hands raw from scrubbing. The widow who owned the house hovered nearby, muttering about carelessness and cost, holding up a porcelain teacup split clean down its side. "It was my mother's," she said, her voice trembling with irritation more than grief. "Irreplaceable." Elara reached for it without thinking. "I'm sorry," she murmured. Her fingers brushed the crack. And then, something shifted. A silvery light, not firelight, not the weak flicker of candle flame, but something pure, spun from her fingertips and settled into the fracture. The porcelain hummed, the crack sealed, not just repaired, but fused. The surface smoothed beneath her touch, seamless, warm, subtly translucent, as though the light had become part of it. Elara froze. The widow gasped. Elara pulled her hand back slowly, her heart thundering in her chest. She knew what this was. Or at least, she knew what it meant. She was a glass weaver. An extremely rare, and dangerous, form of magic. Weavers didn't simply mend broken things. They rewrote them. That night, Elara didn't sleep. She locked herself in the narrow safety of a broom closet, her breath shallow, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from something sharper. Possibility. Carefully, she reached for the thin stream of moonlight slipping through the high window. She felt it, not as something distant or untouchable, but as something waiting. She pulled. Threads of silver light unraveled into her hands, soft as silk, alive as breath. Slowly, cautiously, she began to weave. A wing, a body, a beak no bigger than a fingernail. The sparrow took shape between her fingers, glowing faintly. And then, it moved. The tiny creature fluttered once, twice, and lifted into the air. Elara let out a shaky laugh, half disbelief, half wonder. It wasn't just beautiful, it was real. Her secret became her survival. She didn't just scrub lamps anymore, she fixed them. A cracked teacup became flawless. A broken necklace fused stronger than before. A chipped lantern held light longer, brighter, cleaner. Word spread quietly, carefully, through the long shadow. People didn't ask questions, they just paid. Elara earned 5 times what she once did babysitting. The jar beneath the willow tree grew heavy, each coin a promise. Each secret repair a step closer to something more. Something else. But secrets do not stay hidden in places built on shadows. Her father found the jar. He was deep in one of his manic storms, his eyes burning with that familiar, fevered light. "I've done it," he kept saying. "Do you hear me, Elara? I've done it. One more push, and we're free. All of us. Wealth beyond imagining." He called it an invention. A breakthrough. A future. He called her savings, seed capital. He didn't ask. The jar shattered against the roots of the willow. Coins spilled into the mud like a glittering wound. Elara stood frozen, the sound echoing in her chest long after the last coin stopped rolling. No, but it was already gone. By nightfall, the shed was ash. His invention had exploded, bright, violent, consuming. The flames had eaten everything he had built, everything he had taken. Everything she had saved. Elara found him hours later, slumped against the willow tree, his body folded in on itself. The glow in his eyes had dimmed to something dull and hollow. He was crying. "I was close," he whispered. "I just needed a little more." The mud beneath him was still damp, darkened where her coins had disappeared into the earth. Nothing remained. Not the money, not the promise, not even the illusion of control. Elara didn't move toward him. Didn't speak. Didn't comfort. Something inside her, something fragile, something hopeful, finally gave way. Not into grief, into clarity. She turned her back on him and knelt at the base of the tree, pressing her palm flat against the soil. For a moment, there was nothing. Then, a faint thread of silvery light flickered beneath her skin. The ground trembled, just slightly. And from the mud, something answered. Elara stilled. Her breath caught. Slowly, carefully, she curled her fingers, as if pulling on something buried deeper than coin. The light responded. Thin, strained. But there. Elara's eyes darkened. The money was gone, but the light wasn't. And for the first time, Elara understood something even more dangerous than survival. Nothing he could take from her was truly lost.